This time around is different, knowing like concrete that this is my last time doing the whole spring ball winter cycle. So it's good. I'm trying to live in the moment and take things by stride right now.
You're working with a new position coach this year, Coach Stockton. What stands out about him so far?
He's awesome. He's got a lot of similarities to Coach Ione. I love Coach Ione. Stockton, we're still building a relationship, but he's, you can tell he's a wholesome guy, and he's going to push us and he's going to put us in competitive environments. So I'm excited to keep working under him.
He said he wants you to kind of learn different positions, different safety positions, getting that versatility. What's that going to mean for the defense?
I think it's good. I think if you have three safeties, including the nickel, right? If you got three guys on the field that can play all positions, it allows us to do a lot more things from, disguise standpoint, putting different, utilizing different skill sets. So I'm excited for it.
With your game, where are you in your last year? Hoping to kind of make some big strides still.
Yeah, I'm, kind of the same approach as every other season. There's some things that, I know I want to hammer down and improve on and do better than I did last year and the year before that. And from a personal standpoint, I got my own goals, going forward. I like to keep a lot of my goals private to myself, but as far as team goals, we got an awesome group of guys, and there's some big things I want to accomplish on my way out the door.
You just think about when you showed up for your, when you got to campus, your first, set of practices, everything to where you are now, just what you know now that you didn't know back then, just the different feeling and confidence and everything. Just how do you look at your journey to this point, I guess?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway that I came in here was there's a difference between being patient and being content, right? So I was always afraid of being patient, right? I want these things to happen now. And, along my journey, I learned that the opportunity is going to present itself when it's supposed to, not when you want it to. So, over the years, it's just been kind of, battling out, grinding on special teams. And to be in this opportunity now, I'm thankful for the lessons and being put through those trials before. So I feel like, in a sense, I'm a little more battle-tested that way.
We talk about some of the accolades and stuff you've gotten, but do you have that same kind of chip you've always had since you got here?
Absolutely. I know, very little does other people's opinions. I'm very appreciative. I'm honored to receive accolades, but those don't necessarily affect me a whole lot. So I know for myself, there's things I want to, show the world that I know I'm capable of, and maybe I haven't done yet, and my teammates, and so no, I'd say I'm just as hungry as ever.
You've been on a lot of teams here now, Tubes. How good can this team be?
Good. From a talent standpoint, we could be really good, and I think part of this process is to build the team chemistry. So that's the piece that we're waiting to see. Can we bring this talent, put it together, so we show up on Saturdays and our 14, hopefully more opportunities, that we've not only had the talent, that we brought it together and we're producing on Saturdays.
The second year in a row, you guys got to replace kind of the emotional leader on this defense, right?
Yep.
Last year was Scott, this year is DJ. Who's that guy this year, or is it you?
I think I like to consider myself one of those guys, right? But there's multiple of them. There's guys that, whether it's on the football field, whether it's, in somebody's backyard, I know I can count on that guy to have my back. And that's how I view leadership, right? I view it as someone doesn't necessarily need to be the loudest guy in the room, but someone you can count on, depend on. And we got multiple of those guys. Some of them are coming back from injury still right now, but a lot of guys are also growing into that role.
How do you think the defense sits heading into spring ball this year versus last year? And maybe where do you think you guys are ahead of where you were last year?
Yeah, I think last year we're young, and in a sense we didn't know what we didn't know. This year we took a lot of accountability of the things that we know we need to improve on, whether it's highlighted in the media by external people or not. We know what we need to improve on, and we're attacking that head on. So, just excited.
What was impressive about what Ty Benefield did coming in last year, and where do you think he's going to be better?
Yeah, he's an explosive playmaker. He's not very often you see a guy grow that much and that quickly, right? So being around him is just, kind of keeps me young a little bit, right? He graduated, 5 years after I did, but he's just he's an awesome dude to be around. He's a good teammate, and he's gonna be a great football player.
I know you mentioned guys are out, whatever, with injury, but just to have Shea, have Rodney, have you, and have so much experience on
Yeah.
the back end. I mean, how valuable is that going to be for this defense?
Good, and you just mentioned secondary guys, right? There's also guys like Marco Notriani, Michael Callahan, and that was the biggest thing that happened over the course of last year, just experience, people growing into leadership roles, and then just realizing that no more messing around, we got to do what we got to do. So having that year of experience and now a true off-season understanding is going to be huge for us.
Jeremiah Irby had that pick, what you noticed from the Cal guy, just the corners. How much confidence does the safety group have on your corners this year, Tubes?
A lot. We depend on those guys to do a lot. We ask them to be put out on an island sometimes, more often than not against their best athlete on the field, right? So we depend on those guys to come through, and our corner room's hungry. And you mentioned Jeremiah, and he's a sharp football player too. He's smart. So I'm excited to see what he does over the course of spring ball and on next season, and I expect a lot of growth out of those guys.
One of those corners, Marion McCoy came in last year, played a lot of ball, led the team in interceptions. What did you guys learn about him last season?
He has the play to match his confidence, right? And that's what you want to see out of a corner. He's willing to stand on his 10 toes and talk the talk, and then he'll go back it up. So I got a lot of respect for him. I love playing with him. He's a fun guy.
A lot of attention and hype in the offseason has been around the potential of the offense. How hungry is the defense to come on and show hey, you guys have some ballers too?
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of the game. Everyone likes to highlight the guys that put the ball in the end zone, right? But as part of being defense, you understand that you do a lot that doesn't necessarily go noticed, right? But the glory you receive is from the guys inside the building, and those are things that get highlighted by coaches. And yeah, you don't always receive necessarily the credit or the fame for it, but I love defense, and if you're in that mindset of that's the role you want to play on this team, you have a lot of joy.
How would you rate your cover skills?
My cover skills, what do you mean by that?
Just
Like
when
a
you get
scale
put
of
on
1 to
guy
10?
one-on-one, just how do you think about it? And is that an area maybe that you were, I know a lot of times people see stuff, it's not necessarily the person's fault when someone else happens, it's a whole defense. But I mean, how do you, when you get matched up with a guy one-on-one, how much confidence do you have? And is that an area maybe that you're working to improve? Or?
Well, absolutely, I'm working to improve it. Safe don't lie, there's plays over the course of last season where, I lost one-on-one matchups and cover situations, but never have I ever stepped on the field not feeling like I'm the best football player on the field. And you have to play with that confidence, especially if you expect to win these one-on-one battles, right? So to answer your question, not going to give you an exact rating, but I will say that that's one area of my game that I'm hyper-focused on to improve going forward, and something if you can make your weaknesses your strengths, then there's a lot of opportunity there.
Surveying as many players as I can this spring. Did you opt into the NCAA game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you expect your rating to be on that?
Man, everyone gets tied up in their rating. Reality is you're playing Boise State, and they might be focused on some of the bigger guys. If I'm over 75, I'm happy. But there's a couple years ago you had asked me, I would have paid to be in the game, so I'm not going to opt out now.